When New World screwworm was first announced, it's making its advance in March towards Texas last summer. This is the first resource I pulled out, a book over the history of the screwworm problem decades ago. The important thing when it comes to New World screwworm is if we're attracting wildlife to bait or for example to water, which we've looked at today as well, those are great opportunities to get a first-hand look at wildlife as they interact with that water source or bait. But the process involves getting our hands on wildlife, and that's an important thing to note when we're talking about monitoring for New World screwworm infestations. This is a good example of how monitoring can be utilized for the benefits of wildlife health while we battle this pest in Texas today. And dove banding can be a part of that, in which we're actively involved in right now. We're capturing images, quality images of wildlife as they interact with these sites, and these game cameras do that for us. Use them for screening. And in the event we see APHIS, that's a good way to monitor wildlife. So in addition to monitoring over natural water sources, man-made water sources are very common in ranch management, land management techniques. It's a very, very good technique to use for wildlife management as well. And so providing supplemental water is something that we do as managers for wildlife, in addition to livestock and livestock management. This is a great example of a site, a man-made site that's useful for both livestock and wildlife. And what this serves in terms of where we are today in wildlife monitoring for New World screwworm, it's a great opportunity for not only physical monitoring as you're driving by, seeing the interactions of wildlife, putting your eyes on wildlife, because they're attracted, especially this time of year, to these water sources, but to a great location to install remote game cameras and provide that remote information, gather images as wildlife interacts with this. A site like this is important for, it's going to be used from everything from a small bird, our grassland species, our granivorous species like mourning doves, white-winged doves are going to use this site, all the way up to something as large as a white-tailed deer, or potentially an exotic that is wild on the range in the plateau. It's a great site to use for monitoring for New World screwworm, and obviously a great place to just monitor overall wildlife visitation. And that's the key point here. We're already doing these things in monitoring and doing census techniques and all these different methods we have. Water sites and cameras can also serve an additional screening method as an additional screening method for New World screwworm myiasis.